All right, we're back with technical difficulties on my end. I thought we're on your end. So, as you can see next to me, I wanted to get another monitor going, so I did. Well, the problem with that is I couldn't pick Zach's audio up at all. I don't know why that is. I don't know why monitors think they're an audio device all of a sudden, but it is what it is, man.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll get going with what's been going on, because I mean, you've been racing, I've been announcing all that other stuff, but dude, we got an ad that I'm pumped for because I'm going to this race.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I told you that we had an ad this week, and it's from Southern Minnesota Raceway. It's going to be the June Buggy Jam, June 8th. And it's going to be a trophy race. It's going to be a single day event in Blooming Prairie, Minnesota at Southern RC Raceway. Dude, I am so excited for it. I had a great time last year. 3 to 5 make a class, but the awards will be in sportsman, open four wheel, e-buggy, e-truggy, nitro truck, nitro buggy, pro moto, and fifth scale. So 8 classes total get awards. 2 rounds of qualifying with mains. Doors open at 9 a.m. Racing starts at 11, and they will have they're going to have they serve lunch there, which is awesome. And it's good homemade stuff. We're all pumped about that one.
You get a lot of mini motos there?
Yeah, we get about 6 to 8 of them.
That's, I mean, considering how many they sold, you think they would show up in droves, but
Yeah, but they need they need work to get them going, and they're figuring them out. And
that's
yeah,
true.
I'm excited. So what they do is they have who builds this track? I think Bobby Moore builds his tracks. Comes to Minnesota and builds his track. And this year he had it. I mean, the track this year is the best of all worlds. It's because I drove a lap or so. Lance checking in. I drove with his. Oh, Doug's going to be there as well. But I drove Lance's nitro buggy on the layout because I announced the MNRC round number 1 there a couple weeks ago, and it's free flowing, but yet again challenging. All the jumps work. That's the biggest thing about dirt off road. Do the jumps work? And yes, all the jumps work. It's a great layout. It's a fun time. So that's going to be the June Buggy Jam, June 8th in Blooming Prairie, Minnesota. Go to their Facebook page for more information. Check it out. So,
I
yeah,
always found that it wasn't really how the track started. I mean, that was important too, but it
yeah,
was how it finished is also important.
it finished super solid. And you know what? We'll talk about after we talk about your racing. We'll talk about the MNRC event round number 1 after we talk about your racing. I I hate to say it, but I impressed myself. I got done with the entire race program 5 minutes before a downpour.
Wow.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll talk about other races happening around and all that later on in the program. But where did you race this weekend?
So this past weekend on Saturday,
Yep.
I hauled myself over to the Queen City RC asphalt track, which hosted the Roar Nationals for fuel
Yep.
um, 2 weeks ago. So the grip was pretty good, and with the asphalt track, even though it's outside with all the oil, and then the prep they do, the grip feels like kind of like medium bite carpet, maybe like a low medium bite carpet,
Okay. I like
but
that.
it's like it's good. Tire wear's a little not ideal, but I think I could use a different tire, but then I wouldn't be practicing for the worlds,
Right.
really. So, but I tried a different tire. My buddy sent me because he wanted to get some feedback on it, and so I won't name the tire, but it did wear pretty good, but it
Okay.
was about a second a lap slower
But
on
that
average.
happens though. You know what I mean? And it's
Hmm.
like, well, what are you gonna do? And with your electric racing, the races are 6 minutes,
5.
5. Now imagine if that's a nitro race, a 30-minute nitro race. Would you give up
You
that?
could do it on one set
Yeah. Would you? Okay. Okay.
because I get about 6 runs on it. So that would be, I guess it would be pretty close to the end of a 30-minute, no practice laps.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
But
but
yeah, anyway.
yeah. So I toasted a battery this weekend.
Oh, really?
Uh,
Like
I just
in
pulled too much out of it.
a scary way, or were you able to have it under control?
No, it's pretty puffy.
Oh, it's
It
just
went from
puffy.
flat to puffy.
Yeah, okay.
Um, in the car. The batteries, I've ordered some bigger batteries now, but the batteries are coming off the track at 140 degrees,
Oof. Yeah.
and they are getting warmer as the car is sitting there. So it's not ideal.
Yeah.
No practice. I can get one practice lap. Two practice
Oh.
lap is too many.
Whoa, man. Oh, man.
So, the track I'm racing at, Queen City I think it's 40 feet longer, and I think it's a little bit wider than the
Okay.
finish line,
Okay.
the world's track. So they're using like these 4800s, or a 40. So I was using a 4800 HV, which is really like a 4400,
Yeah.
like that you can actually use. So, I was talking to a couple people over there, and they said that it's a great battery for there, which makes sense.
Yes.
Um, but that extra 40 feet is kind of, and the
That extra
layout,
that extra 40 feet will also blow up nitro motors as well.
yes. And the layout for World, I assume, is going to be more flowy. This one's kind of like a carpet layout, on a big track.
Okay,
It's more
cool.
like 180s, and so you have more amp draw because you're going, full throttle
Yeah.
out of the corner.
Hold on.
But so there's like nobody that really, um,
I was going to say this is our first Twitch guy that showed up that isn't a bot. Lazy underscore 303.
sure. My
So
wife's doing stuff.
I had to throw that up on the screen real quick while there's a break, because we get a few listeners, we get a decent amount of listeners on YouTube, and we get a decent amount on Facebook. I just started throwing this podcast in Twitch under Joe's podcast.
Hmm.
Theodore checking in on YouTube. How's it going, Theodore? Just to throw it up there, just to get some kind of numbers generating.
Yeah, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah, and yeah, well, last week we got nothing but bots, and this week we got a first real listener out of there,
Ooh, so we got a person.
an actual person. Yeah.
It's not
So,
nice.
I'm, dude,
Oh, so
yeah, keep on going.
there's so my buddy came with me, Andy. Andy owns WMH Racing,
Yes.
and pretty cool dude. Had some bad luck at the track. He's torn 2 corners of his car off so far,
Oh,
which is hundreds of dollars worth of damage
yes, yes.
each time.
And then you tear a corner off, you're not just replacing the parts, you're also loosening all the screws on the chassis and making sure it's flat again and true and all that stuff. It's work.
Yeah, it's expensive too.
Yeah.
So so anyway, so that was no good. But there was, so the reason he tore the and he's a fairly skilled driver. You know, about as good as me.
Mm.
knows his way around the track. He's not super confident in it yet because his car is not liking asphalt.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
he's had some gremlins, and it's kind of one of those things. But I do say that you always lose a race on the bench. For
Yes.
generally for us, it's because we didn't do something right on the bench.
For you faster guys. For me, it's the bench and then personal glitches on the driver's stand. Oh, Theodore. Theodore, sorry to interrupt. Theodore, I talked to him a bunch on TikTok. His name's Juggalo42. He's from northern Minnesota. He races, or not races, but he's gonna hopefully come down and run some fifth scale with us. But anyway,
So
so
the reason he broke his car is there's
yeah.
an undulating part of the track. So if you look at it,
Oh,
and this is asphalt, so it goes up
yes.
like this, and then it goes down and kind of like this.
Yep.
So my car, if you got a good photographer, you could get a picture of my car without all four wheels on the ground.
Oh.
And I know at least the two most important ones, the one with the steering, are leaving the ground because I can see it
Yes.
every time.
Yes.
And you're full, like the fast line is full speed through there
Yep.
because it goes in here. It's a cross town, and then it hits like a sweeping 180 type corner. Um, and it's really I've been very fortunate. I've tapped the inside board a little bit. But I've been pretty fortunate to not had a catastrophic failure yet. Andy, so his car left the ground,
Yep.
and he didn't recover in time to miss the board.
Oh.
So he went not full speed into the board, but at a really good clip, and then he hit another board, and then his car broke.
Yeah. That's
But so there's not. This is like a fuel track, so there's not really any. So there's like some electric classes, like GT. I think it's like GT8.
okay. Yeah.
Um, and then I think Pro 10. It's like the
That
230
would be
millimeter.
so much fun. Pro 10,
There's like 5 of them, 6 of them, or
dude,
something. There's a bunch.
I ran Pro 10 on carpet. I tried getting that going in Minnesota.
Yeah.
At the time, I think only Speed Merchant made a car, and good luck getting that damn thing from those guys on time. But I had a Speed Merchant, and we ran 13.52S, and I had one of those old Reedy square batteries in the car. And oh
Mhm.
my God, all I could imagine, all I could think of is what you're talking about. I would love to take this outside on asphalt and put like a ridiculous motor in there and let it buck.
I think they're doing like 13.5 open 2S.
Okay, that's is insanely fast on carpet because it's
Yeah, well, the
basically
track is a lot bigger.
yeah, it's basically it's the same exact geometry as a 12 scale. You use the same 12 scale front end, use 12 scale, just the chassis plate and the body plate and the body are bigger and the tires are bigger.
I think they're using a rubber tire.
Oh, that's different.
I
Because
think they're
we're
using like the CRC rubber tires or something.
yeah, on carpet we were using the BSR spec tire for 10 scale.
Maybe I guess I didn't look that close. I
Sorry,
was
I
no,
nerd
it's okay.
I nerd out about dumb shit like Pro 10. I love it. It's a giant, absurdly fast 12 scale. At least it is on the carpet.
Right. So they're going like and maybe it's not open, but they seem pretty quick.
Yeah.
So like the fast guy who came from he came from out of town and ended up winning, but he had like a 16.515.
Okay.
So I ran an 18.515.
Okay. Nice.
So I have 2 laps. So I was trying to figure out where to run because there's no other mod terrain for me to run with. So,
Yes.
but they have the eighth fuel cars are kind enough to let me run with them.
Oh, nice.
The only problem is that they're faster than me
Yeah.
by about a second a lap.
Yeah.
On my good laps, and then honestly, it's almost easier to drive well on asphalt than it is carpet because you have more room to make mistakes.
So you found some fast A scale on-road drivers finally, is what
Yeah,
it's.
well, Mike Pulfer is there. He got
Okay.
like he did really good.
Yeah, that's good. AJ checking in. He's been racing his he's been taking the summer off RC car racing, doing big car racing.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So I finished my race. I tried a very weird setup that I think I'm gonna try again. Um, Mainly because I liked how consistent it was. It is the setup Hefty Jesus or Michael Hanulek posted on the Google Drive
Okay.
from finish line for the one up race.
Yeah.
Um, it's very odd. You should go. Everyone should go look at it. It's under Automatics USA under the setup for May. Uh, it's odd, but it worked pretty good. The only change I made was the diff. I started out. I think he had 12K on the setup sheet. Because the track is more technical, and not really as fast. Like his big sweeping corners. I did
Yeah.
7K. I think I'm probably gonna go to maybe 10 and try that. Because I did lack a little bit of on power steering.
Yeah. So
Uh,
did you keep up your ridiculous consistency?
yeah, I actually in one of the practices I had a 99.1%
Jeez.
consistency. In the race, so the main, I pulled over twice.
Okay.
Um, but I had a 96.5 or something like that. Actually, I think I have it up on my phone still.
That's pretty good for letting people buy.
And I think I had. Oh, I just reloaded.
So you know
So
what
yeah,
you know what the difference between you and the other American drivers going to the worlds?
I don't.
You're actually putting laps down. I'm not seeing that anywhere else.
Oh, what did I have that for? In the main, I had a very long lap. I don't know what happened
Yeah.
there.
Oh, did they miss a lap on you?
No, it was a 22-second lap. Normally, I'm doing like 17s.
Gotcha.
I don't know, but it's. Well, let me go to round two here. Yeah, so actually, I did this really interesting thing for the main. So I ran about 5 minutes, and then I came
Mm,
down because I run with the fuel guys, and they run
yeah.
15-minute mains.
Yep.
I can't make. If I had 3 batteries, I could make it, but um. So I came down and I pitted for Mike Pulver. I just put some fuel in this tank. I didn't really do
Cool.
much, but so that was something. So the second round, I got a 97.8% consistency, and I pulled over one, two, three times. Well, either I pulled over, or I had a mistake. I think one of these I had a mistake. I tapped a dot, but
Okay.
but the dots are really forgiving. They're steel plowed discs, but they cost you a little time. It's perfect, but
Yeah.
it's fun.
That's good. It doesn't kill you. Jessica Oldham checking in. They were racing at Southern the other week.
Sorry, I went on a
Well, that's
long.
fine. No, it's dude, I like hearing about this end of racing because the Roar Fuel Nationals were you know, just happened I think last week and I don't think the on-road fuel nationals, I should be more specific. And I don't think they did very well for entries because
No, no.
well, it's what sucks is so the Heart of America is in a holding pattern right now because they lost their location. They've raised money almost enough for a full location again. See, they only had 91 entries, which is a tick better than I thought it would be. But I mean, yeah, I don't.
It's so expensive to go race like one of those, and especially the people who are left are like the real diehard racers,
Yeah,
and so they have like $1,000 engines. After you gotta have a couple because one's gonna blow up.
Yeah,
And the pipes and the tuning, and then the car's super expensive, and then the tires, you're pretty much one running them, and
yeah.
those are super expensive. I
Back
don't know
in,
all of it, but
yeah, Scotty Ernst won the 45 and older.
mhm.
Bryce Butterfield won A Scale Open. But again, though, it's like I'm not seeing any names that I used to. Well, Max Koenig, he took seventh. Ralph
Yeah,
Birch
apparently he
took,
had some issues.
yeah. Ralph Birch was there. Wonder why he wasn't run the old man class.
He was pretty quick 2 years ago.
Well, yeah, it's one of those things to where you have those good runs 2 years ago and they gave you false hope as you get older. This kid, they had 1A sportsman at the Nationals. I ain't know that they had sportsmen at Nationals. But I
You gotta
suppose,
have entries, man.
yeah, to draw entries. Oh, Bryce also won 200 millimeter as well. But you only had 13 200 millimeter nitro touring cars sign up.
Yeah, it's not great, but I mean, what do you do?
That's a good question. I mean, so you can do. You should really
Fuel,
take a
on-road
pulse of the
fuel,
country. Take a pulse of the country and where is everybody racing? Where the most
not
concentrated,
on-road fuel.
yeah, you can I mean, where the most concentrated place, like I think one year they had it at Lincoln when they had the track. That's where they had Heart of America, and I think it did fairly well because it's directly in the center of the country.
You could try California, but then you'd miss all the Midwest guys. So
Yeah,
not many of them would come out.
and that's the thing too. It's well, I should say I would love to go to most places in California if it was at least 2 hours away from Los Angeles.
So, I mean, there was a thing for the end of last year, the beginning of this year, excuse me, the end of the season last year for on road that the California drivers didn't want to leave the state. Um, and for various reasons, but mostly they have a great, thing there. Why would they want to leave? Essentially,
Right.
was a lot of their argument. Um, I mean, like bringing it back to off road. Frankie Contreras Jr. is mostly, I believe he's from California,
Yep.
and he mostly focused in California, and then he goes to these big races with various other people, and he does good, but
Yeah.
he's not winning. He's not
Yeah. But
really in
he's
contention.
he's starting to pick it up though. He's starting to
Well,
pick it up.
good,
So
but
yeah,
he's also traveling now.
that's true, and that helps. Jacob checking in. Jacob, you didn't miss a terrible amount. We've been going for about 25 minutes. I tried hooking up another monitor, and little did I know that would screw up the entire audio of the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently, I can't just hook up a monitor. I have to go through a bunch of settings that I need to find, and it's not fun. That happened to my work computer as well. It says it's going through the Realtek whatever, but it's going through the little PC speaker instead. Once I hooked up my second, I got to figure that out. Anyway, so yeah. Well, you know what? I had a great time announcing the MNRC in Blooming Prairie, round number 1. So my voice still wasn't 100% back from Vegas. It was still hoarse, and I'm like, oh man, I have a race to announce, and it's 2 weeks after. I thought I'd be fine. I was not. But Justin Dock, and the owner of the track, he got these speakers that are loud as shit. So I turned them all the way up, and I talked in a lower than normal voice, and everybody was like covering their ears. It was so loud. So I had plenty of speaker power to where I didn't have to use a lot of afflection. I didn't have to yell or scream. I could just talk in a quiet. I know everybody heard me. That's how loud those speakers were. I mean, I was so happy about that. And then coming back and announcing races in Minnesota, it makes Lance said it was loud from the driver's stand. Yeah, no kidding, Lance. I know it. I was barely. Oh, Lead Grace checking in from Australia. I think he's checked in from Australia before. But anyway, so I was able just to use a nice, calm voice. And when I asked for volunteer marshals, I mean, we had guys like Dale Reek, Sully Swinski. We had a whole bunch of guys volunteer, not just those two guys, but we had a bunch of guys volunteer marshaling when I needed it. It was awesome. Nothing was really delayed for marshals, and I was done with the mains by. You see Jacob's
We'll get
question.
to that later.
All right. Yeah. So I get done with the entire weekend at 3 p.m. I think we had like 140 entries, and I get done 5 minutes before the rain starts. But let's go through some results. Seth won E-Buggy, Nitro Buggy, and Nitro Truggy. Seth Van Dalen did. Dude was just on fire. Drew Dawkin took second in E-Buggy. He was Jordan Corton third. Watching the points, that's one thing I love about Live RC, because we run dual electric mains, and watching the points go up and down drastically by like one position switch because something happens with the tiebreaker or some other crap like that. It's awesome. Nitro Buggy, Seth Van Dalen wins that. Brody Igashevsky takes second with the Mayako, coming off the bench from having an all-state wrestling season. That is awesome. Lucas Lazari takes third. Truggy, it was Seth Van Dalen, Greg Baumel, and Alec Hins. Alec was on he was on a podium run for Nitro Buggy as well, but he broke his Nitro Buggy like towards the end of the run. So it happens. Donald checking in from Alaska. Donald used to be a local Minnesota guy. We miss him. He loves his stadium trucks and nitro trucks. Yeah. So Jacob, Zach owns Donathan. That DRC sign behind him. That's
I don't know if you can read my shirt.
Read my shirt. I have the old one.
Yeah. Well,
I know. I did a TikTok live today. Like I said, I did TikTok live earlier this morning when I was wrenching on slashes. It's frustrating. Like, if I'm wrenching on dumb crap in the mornings, I hit that algorithm and I get like 100 viewers, a bunch of new followers and crap like that. If I go live at a race and show like some really cool racing, tight racing, I get like 1 or 2 viewers. It sucks. I literally put, and it could be my title too. It was like wrenching on a Traxxas. Why? And then maybe because I put Traxxas in the title, it just blew up.
Mm-hmm.
So, but anyways, yeah, dude, it was an awesome weekend of announcing. Oh, he's trying to work on an A-scale buggy. Nitro. Or wait, it just says A-scale. I hope it's Nitro. Oh, that was loud.
I'm
right.
sorry.
No, that's all right. So yeah, it's super happy with round 1 of the MNRC, and I hope it continues with round number 2, because I will be announcing that one as well. And that's going to be at Loose Nuts Father's Day weekend. But also, speaking of races coming up, we're going to have the Midwest Nationals coming up. There's going to be money on the line for the top 3 classes, which I'm very excited about. I got to pull that up. Sorry, guys. I should be more prepared. I was more prepared, but I had to unplug my screen, which sucks. And again, unforeseen things. Huh?
Just a bunch of excuses over there.
I know, man. I actually worked on this setup earlier today, and I'm like, all right, I'm set up. And then, nope. But anyways, Midwest Nationals, July 13th and 14th in Aberdeen, South Dakota. Check them out. There's going to be $7,500 in purse money, $1,000 to win in the three pro classes, 50% payback in e-truggy, cash drawing opportunities. Overnight camping is $20 a night, which way cheaper than a hotel. Why not put up a tent? And yeah,
They have showers there.
they might. It is a fairground that they're on.
So is Queen City, and they have the camping is right in between us and the bathrooms have hot water and showers.
Nice. I've been at tracks with fairgrounds, and they lock the showers. They don't let anybody in it. Chad says Xander. Him and Xander went to Jamestown. Yeah, there's a Dakota RC race. Lee said I'd watch racing, not you wrenching. I agree, Lee. I just hit the live button when I was working on slashes because it's like, I need some kind of entertainment. Yeah. Oh, Donald's phone's down. He's gonna check in. Lynn checking in. He's building a new ET 48 2.0. I'm guessing that's going to be for the Midwest Nationals. And he says, yes, there are showers available in Aberdeen. So $20 a night with showers. Dude. I mean, if you're able to tent it, heck yeah. I don't know.
Tenting, but I gotta have a fire.
What was that?
I like tenting, but I gotta have a fire.
Right. Absolutely.
Some places don't let open flames. So
yeah, I'm not sure what the rule set there is, but I mean, I'm sure it'd be a good time. Lance says he's tenting it. Yeah, I don't know. It depends. So I'm 80% sure I'm going to go to this race. If I do, I'm 50-50 on whether or not I bring Joe 3. Because if I bring Joe 3, I can't sleep in my truck. That's not responsible. He's a 12-year-old kid. Or, I could put up a blow-up mattress in the bed of the truck, but then where am I going to put the RC crap overnight? You know what I mean? So, but yeah, if I bring Joe 3, I'd have to get a hotel. But yeah, it is what it is. I'm excited for it. Locally there's been cash races locally, but they haven't been for significant money like this one. It brings a seriousness to it, but it also brings another level of competition, which I'm really excited to see. I think it'll work out very well. So we got a few news items to hit, and I'm gonna first. I forgot to bring this up when we were talking about it. Let me share the screen. It's a new Agama 10-scale buggy. Have you seen that?
I have. It looks very similar to their 8-scale buggy, but on a 10-scale platform. Lee, if you want, I could bring it up to the Mentos, who are running the Australian carpet series, or Australian, I forget what they're calling it.
So they show the tires here with clay. They show the car with clay tires. To me, all day long, that's a carpet buggy to me. What do you think? I don't know. You might not be able to see it very well on your screen, but
I mean, the only thing, there's a couple, not the only thing, but the main things is the shocks. Based off of what the 8-scale buggy did, it works fine on. It almost works better on like loose surfaces, if I remember right.
Right. Yeah.
So I would say probably the less bite, the better. VRP is going to have 1,000 upgrade parts for it next week. It releases.
Everything's so damn low. That's what I love about it. Everything's so low. Sorry, I interrupted you, but I had to get that out.
Maybe they'll offer a pre-order with free wing buttons. I couldn't help it.
I had to throw that in there.
I just come on, man.
What the hell is Infinity thinking?
I don't know.
Dude, I would rather just have a regular pre-order. It's like throwing wing buttons and screw
Insulting.
string. It's dumb.
Insulting.
It is done.
No, I think it looks good. I'm glad that somebody is doing something different. We've had kind of since the B5 was something new,
Yeah.
and then the B5 to the B6 was something new.
Yeah.
It was in design. It was,
It was
pretty
it was
different.
evolution.
Right, but it was still substantially different. And now we've
Yes.
kind of stagnated from the B6 to this.
Yeah.
Maybe the last 5 or so years.
Right. You know, one thing about the B6 series is the B6 original one, it was good. It was the same thing as the B6.1, but the nice thing about the B6.1 was the quick access diffs. And there were some small changes between the 1 and the 3, but you could get the 1 working similar to the 3, and the 0.2, yeah, whatever. It was unnecessary, the 0.2 was. But now the B6.4, whatever they did to that platform, and it was a couple of little things in like the steering rack geometry and a couple other little things with the B6.4, the 13 millimeter shocks, that made it one of the easiest cars on the planet. Chad's saying some Sioux Falls guys are going to Aberdeen, so will Xander and Chad. Lynn's saying there's new sponsors that have come on for the Midwest Nats with goodies for Pro 4 and over 440 and Mini Truggy. But my problem is their over 40 is for e-buggy, or otherwise I would come and run 40 over. I'm one of those guys that are getting suckered into the old man classes.
It should be like 60.
I know.
Because so many. That's a different topic.
Yeah, we could talk about that in a bit. But yeah, I'm super happy about this, and Rick's excited about Pro 4 and Mini Truggy. Yeah, Midwest Nationals, Rick, and Aberdeen, South Dakota, the weekend of July 13th. But anyway, this buggy, super excited about it. Super excited to see what it does. I know there's been a few pre-orders in Minnesota. I don't know how many people the people who ordered the cars. I don't. Yeah, you know what? I don't know if they'll hold on, let's see. Stop screen. There we go. I don't know if they're going to keep them. Is what I should say. So right now they just ordered them to order them. But other than that, yeah, well, other new stuff that came out this week that I love and a lot of people don't. And, to be fair, they screwed it up a little bit. Let me get the hit share screen. This would be a lot faster if I could use my other monitor.
You're doing just fine.
I know. The RC10T and Team Associated did brilliant marketing for this. And why I say it's brilliant marketing is because they created buzz with no money. And how they created buzz with no money was they accidentally put it on their webpage for like 10 minutes one day, like a week prior.
Mm-hmm.
That was on purpose. But dude, that got the Facebook buzzing about it. And I guarantee that sold out a good chunk of their pre-orders with just the people buzzing about it, getting excited about it. So when the pre-orders actually did happen, oh,
I'm sorry, my ear.
That's fine. Am I too loud?
No, it's my earbud thing moved and it was uncomfortable and I forgot.
Are you getting cauliflower ears yet?
I don't know.
Because I can't wear earbuds for more than 5 minutes at a time without them shooting out of my ear.
No, I have the big things, the spiral things in.
Okay, gotcha. So this classic kit, it's cool. Don't get me wrong. Those front tires, I got a story about those front tires, but I'll tell you in a second because those were outlawed immediately. So everybody's like, well, the JRXT was first. I believe the JRXT was a conversion kit before it was sold as an actual kit, but it is semantics. The RC10T was not first, but it was, I believe, the first kit. The actual kit, the team kit, did not come with gold shocks. That irritated me right away because I am a vintage guy. This was my first new kit I got when I was a little kid. I had to help around the house for months to get this kit. But it didn't come with the gold shocks initially. And also the team kit came with bearings. There was a kit that did come with bushings and the gold shocks, but I think that came along later. Yeah, but other than that, dude, it's cool. It came with these the guys with these front tires, the skinny front wheels that were selling them for a mint a year or two ago are pissed because now they're re-released. They're not, they lost a crap ton of value. So back though, sometime in the mid 90s, I went to an RC swap meet with a set of those front tires, and I traded so many times that I ended up with a moped.
Wow.
That was one. It was an all day long project. My senior goes, all right, we don't really have anything we can give up except for these front tires because those came with the kits and they were outlawed. Even though they came with the kits all throughout the RC10T, they were immediately outlawed because people were so much faster with them. I want to say, I forget what race it was. It might have been the Florida Winter Champs. But the first race that the pros raced the RC10T as a whole, those tires were outlawed immediately because they were just so much better than everything else, those front tires. But I started with a set of those front tires, and then I think I traded for a motor, and then eventually I ended up with an RC boat and a pocket full of cash, and then I traded that for a 1986 Jawa moped. So now everybody's wondering why these classic kits are dropping. One reason is, and somebody made up a good point under my post, is nostalgia sells, and it does. It sells very well. I think they really, really, really screwed up when they came out with the clear B6.4. I'm like, why? What are you guys doing? I really didn't understand that move, the B6.4 clear kit. But I understood the RC10 clear kit because most guys with the RC10 build it and put it on their shelf. And that is perfect to do. And it was cool. It was cool looking. And I understand the RC10 classics, and I understand the team or the world's car. I understand this RC10T, and if they're smart, they would do a RC10 GT next, if they're smart. So nostalgia sells well, and so do their basher kits, and Element's doing really well. I think they're strategically, they're trying to keep people's minds off the they're kind of trying to keep minds off of
I'll say it.
Go ahead.
So, we talked a little bit before this, and we kind of came to the conclusion that the Associated is trying to distract its customers from the issues of the B7.
Yes.
Various reasons. It started out with like the C block being a big problem area.
Right.
And then I'm hearing that the diff is now not very, the 5-gear transmission
The 5-gear,
is not is not very reliable. In a previous podcast, we talked about R1's 3-gear, which is apparently the only thing that works now.
In stock racing.
I'm sorry, in stock.
Yes.
So that's, I mean, I don't know. I think it's somebody saw this opportunity, that they're having, and also it coincides with, this is typically the slow time of year for some RC manufacturers like myself.
Sure.
I imagine Team Associated, this is probably their busiest time of year because they have both 10 scale and 8 scale, but 10 scale is kind of falling off the wayside. So maybe that's also why you're not hearing a bunch about the B7 and
But they might be testing for the 2025 Worlds in Australia that's going to be on that outdoor track.
True.
So,
True.
anyways.
Yeah, this is the time.
Yeah, it is. I think Matt Gonzalez was just over there with another guy.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember.
But again, though,
I'm surprised they just sent him though.
He's one up. He's not really. I mean, he's Team Associated, but no, actually, he's not even one up anymore. I don't think. I think
he works for Hobbywing.
Hobbywing now.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe if you think about it, he is Hobbywing's best driver, who is also a product developer.
No.
Who's best on the off-road side?
They put a whole bunch of people on the team this year.
On the team, but Gonzalez actually works for him.
Oh, yes, I would probably agree with that. Then I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Tony Anderson goes, I can't believe how far RC has come. He goes, his first RC experience was at Fun City, and he says, I'll remember that place, which I do. That was my second home, and I miss it. I miss it greatly. I used to go there when I was a kid. I used to put an RC car, my 2-wheel buggy in my backpack and my radio and like 3 or 4 charged batteries, and I would bike there and I'd spend the afternoon. But yeah. But we're talking about the B7 and Worlds and all that. Here's the deal. And I've explained this on here before. I'm not allowed to run the R1 transmission. Okay. I am a team driver, and team drivers are not allowed to run the R1 transmission. Plain and simple. Now, because of that transmission, a lot of team guys are locally, I can say for sure, are going back to the B6.4, and they're putting on the B7 KPI front end, which a lot of guys have been doing and has been working out very well for them. The R1 transmission, though, that's not the magic bullet. The problem with the R1 transmission is everything's a little too far back. But that can be it's still mid-motor. It can be mitigated with a couple of adjustments. But yeah, man, I think the 7.1 is going to come very quickly, and it's going to come with a lot of solutions. But in the meantime, they have to.
Well, you'll see it for Worlds.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we'll see it before the Worlds. I think it'll be so the Worlds will be, what is it? Is it going to be the summer or fall of 2025?
I don't know.
Whenever that is, then you might see it for the Worlds, and that might be the debut of it, the 7.1.
I think that would probably be smart money to say something like that, because then they don't show, Associated doesn't show their hand.
Yeah. Because, I mean, to be fair, the car itself, like the geometry is excellent. The car is so forgiving. The car carries so much more corner speed because of that KPI front end. I love the feeling of the weight balance, but you grab the throttle with that 5 gear coming out of the corner, and I swear the car goes, what? You know what I mean? It's like there's definitely a delay in that acceleration. But also, and then you learn how to get the power down, and then you start stripping out idler gears, and it's a problem that can't be ignored. That's the thing. A lot of people, a lot of the complaints from non-race team associated forums have been disappearing strangely. But there's been complaints about the C block, which were right away, and then there were complaints about the transmission in various forms that all of a sudden I look for later and they're gone. It's like I know where I saw them, and I go back later and I go look like most relevant, I look most recent, I look late, all that crap, and they're gone. So whoever's monitoring those boards are kind of trying to sweep well-known problems under the rug, which sucks. Dude, I love Team Associated, and the B7, like I said, geometry-wise is as good as it has been. Nothing's ever going to be perfect, but it's excellent. It's just, and I think them putting this RC10T out, it's just like, hey, remember us? We're, because I think the B7 sold super well initially, and then it had all those issues, and then I don't know if it's still selling.
I think you have that with a lot of kits, though. It's not like they're gonna have to catch fire, and then I mean you're seeing it right now with the Schumacher car.
Yeah,
MI9.
But I guarantee that the B64 sold well to the end, because that was my go-to answer. Everybody, whenever they ask me, what should I get? It's still, I tell people, find a used B6.4 when people are asking, what do I want when I get into racing? And it's not a Losi, it's not a B6.3, it's not a Yokomo, it's a B6.4. So, let's see, what else do we got? Oh yeah, I pulled that up just in case. Well, let's see if I can. I have never had this. Well, let me close. This is Facebook, so I got to close things. So I've never had this scenario happen. I'm trying to pull it up so I can pull up a few different. There we go. I'm almost there. There we go. All right, I'm going to share this, my Facebook page. I had to close a bunch of chats out too. So I've never caught a brake pad in my tire before.
Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah, it's not RC related, but interesting nonetheless. Dude, I mean, you can tell I needed new tires, but the plan was to get them in November before the snow went. That was the plan. You don't need the best of the best tires when, dude, I mean, my wife and I were dorks. So we dropped my daughter. She was at a Girl Scout camp this weekend, and Joe 3 was at the in-laws fishing. And we were up by the Hinckley Fire Museum, and the wife and I are like, hey, let's go to the Hinckley Fire Museum because we're nerds. And we went there, and yeah, Joel Hyatt saying that's different. Dude, that you can tell that came off a Hyundai or a Kia. And you can tell she's been riding on the metal of that brake pad for probably a year. But yeah, we went to the fire museum. There were Amish people there selling Amish baked goods. It was awesome. And then we start heading towards the casino in Danbury, Wisconsin, and I caught a brake pad. I still don't understand it. Rick Provost still says he still has a brand new B6.4 full cool guy hardware sitting on his shelf. I'm digging 1A scale. He'll be at FTR on the 1st. I'll be at FTR as well. We'll talk about that in a minute. And there's really not much in the summertime. Lucky 13 and I should say in Minnesota. And you were talking about that when we're talking about the B7. You're like, well, 10 scale tapers off super hard in the summer as well. Some spots, yeah. Most spots, yes, but like
yeah.
there are your spots. I don't know about your Hobbyplex, but the original Hobbyplex, they have their team associated summer series that they run, and they get like guys like Tom Rindernick. Sometimes they get the Fullers, but I don't know if the Fullers I don't know if the Fullers have even built the 10 scale S-Works cars yet. I know they were messing around with the HB cars when they were with the HB, and they were at almost every associated race when they were with Losi. Yeah, I think they're probably focusing more, but you get pro level talent at the team associated summer series for 10 scale, which is bananas because they race A scale there in the wintertime. It's kind of backwards. But yeah, I had to show that off because, dude, how many times has somebody caught a flipping brake pad?
Not very often.
No, and then what else do we got? We got a couple more little things.
I got kind of one big thing.
Well, we got your thing, yes. So
no, not that. Can we talk about the IFMAR president?
Yeah, we can talk about Eric Anderson.
So I've known EA for like 10 years.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying this in his defense because the reason we're talking about the IFMAR president, Eric Anderson, is because he some private chat got leaked and he was talking some shit about Exalt.
Yeah.
Which is kind of fair. I don't know the whole thing. I don't know their story on why they're beefing or if that's what he does. I don't know him that well. I wouldn't call us friends. I've raced with him, like I said, for like 10 years. I've got to see him kind of grow up as I've also grown up. I got to see him go from black hair when he was dyeing it to white hair all of a sudden, which was a big change for him. So he used to be kind of a really big asshole.
Yeah, that's my experiences with the guy, and I've only dealt with him on a customer side.
Well, and he's like not. I feel like now he's not that way. He's just like frank about stuff. He's kind of like, this is how it is. I'm not playing your games. I'm gonna say what I think, and I'm not gonna sugarcoat it at all. And I've got other shit to do, and that's kind of how I view it. So I think that's how he kind of like the interactions I've had have been. I don't think I've had a negative interaction with him that I remember. I've been down to his track a bunch, in Murfreesboro. I'm not like for him. I don't think an IFMAR president should say those things. That's not to say he shouldn't have an opinion. I just think because he has those titles, he should be held to a higher responsibility because that's, what we would expect from a leader, which is kind of what his position is. It should be like, you should set an example. But, and again, it was a private chat, so I don't know if he
wasn't very private. It looks like a Discord server.
Yeah, there were a number of people on there, but it was supposed to be a close friend group. I talked with them about it. And he seemed disappointed. I didn't really get into the nitty gritty of it with him. I'm sure everyone was blowing his shit up about it.
Here's the deal. He's I'm going to be frank. He's one of those cocky ass on road racers, not like you, but the the guys, the cocky ass on road racer who shit doesn't stink, who had his own company, still has his own company, who thinks he has the absolute best stuff, which sometimes he does. Put that aside. He is also the IFMAR president. And yeah, he should not be saying any of that shit he said. But he's a person. He's not going to change who he is overnight. And you all damn well better have known who you voted for IFMAR president when you voted. If
That wasn't really a vote.
It wasn't a vote?
Well, it was more of a coup.
Oh, that's what, yeah. But, yeah, that's right. It was a coup. But, we all know who we've all been on some side of it. EA. We've all raced with them, or we've all bought stuff from them. We've tried to return things. Oh my God. And he's not a guy I would hang out with, but he's not the worst person in the world. So there's I want to use names. I'm not going to use names. I will not use names. But you got the nicest guy in the world and you got the worst a-hole in the whole RC industry, and he lives right in the middle. You know what I mean? Which is fine. But we all know who Eric Anderson is, especially people who deal with IFMAR. This shouldn't be a surprise, but it's in a Discord server. Do you remember that dude who leaked all that crap in a Discord server for the United States government as like to 3 people, and he got busted?
My internet went out, so I don't know what you said for the last minute.
Oh, no, there was...
Okay. I will be right back.
Okay. So for all of you not up to speed, there was this dork who he might have been in the military, but he leaked United States secrets in a Discord server. I'm going to look it up right now so I can get the dude. It was like a Fortnite Discord server. And the dude was just being like cocky and showing off to friends, and he was like, holy crap. So he leaked Pentagon documents from 2022 and 2023. His name was Jack Teixeira. And he was a National Guardsman who leaked sensitive, depending on who you talk to, but sensitive secrets, Yeah, exactly, Rick. That's what I'm saying. He was talking about, it was only to a couple of people, but he was talking very similar situation. He was talking in a private Discord server to Fortnite buddies, and he leaked all these insane Pentagon documents thinking he was going to get away with it and it was secure because it was a private Discord server. Now he's going to federal effing prison. I need to get that Dana White clip where he just goes, federal fucking prison. So yeah, Discord's not a safe place to talk shit, guys. Just know that. Joey Fitzsimmons, he's going to have to come back on sometime soon, talk about how his racing's going. So, yeah, anyways, Discord's not a safe place, especially for an IFMAR president to talk shit. That's all I was going with that.
Yeah.
So, but before I start my rant, Kurt Roberts checking in. Tony Anderson saying the Dragon back better still be at FTR. It gave him hell last time. Yeah, that was tough. And Theodore saying we all get that way as we age when we're talking about EA. Probably about him dyeing his hair. Yeah. Yeah, but it was, yeah, Discord's not, I mean, Discord's cool and it's a useful tool. My daughter uses Discord for school, dude. The Extra Lap RC podcast records their podcast through Discord. I'm in their Discord server, and every once in a while, I just sign in and listen a little bit when they're recording their podcasts. So, but anyway, yeah. You know what? He's human. He's not my favorite human, but he's human. And I do think we should be made aware of it, but I think that, yeah, it's whatever, you know?
Probably. I mean, he was better than. Was it Jeff Parker who was also the IFMAR president?
Yeah, but Jeff Parker, dude, he was on the worst side of being an a-hole, and I don't even think he was into RC anymore. I think he was like that Chuck dude who owned Fastlane, who was Aurora president before Clayton.
Yeah, poor Chuck.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
speaking,
go ahead.
I was going to say, speaking of Aurora, Ty's mom resigned, which I thought would happen, and B, in the original post, they wrote boobies on accident.
Oh, boy.
I just had to bring that up.
Going back to the human part.
Yes, which, dude, as typos go, that one's pretty funny. So we were going to talk about Roar too, though, about, people talking or about people who don't like to pay their yearly $40 and some subscription, whatever. What
yeah, so I had an idea. And so I don't really understand why people don't want to support the governing body that we all use the rules for. Yep. And that we all want better stuff in RC and we want like all these cool things to happen in RC, but nobody wants to support anybody trying to do it. But just ballpark me. How many sets of tires do you have that you can't or you haven't used recently? We're
going to go down to a more human level. I bought Chinese food for my family last night, and it was $53. So I don't want to hear any RC car racer bitching about $40. I do not plan on going to any Roar races this year, but I still have my Roar membership to support what is happening. And a lot more has been happening this year than any other year I can ever remember.
And I think a lot more needs to happen. I don't think we're like anywhere near to being done, but
no, not
there
even close.
Was so much stuff that was broken and that needs fixed, and the website's trash.
Yeah.
Like it's hard to do anything on the website. I'm the Rural Region 5 representative for my area, not because I wanted to be the region director or representative, whatever.
Yeah.
But because nobody else was going to do it. The guy who did it before me, he quit because it's a thankless job. Great. I know it's thankless. It sucks. People say, well, why would I give you $40? Well, how about because you use all the rules and we provide all these services and, approvals and this, that, the other thing. And the problem is we gave them all, well, Roar gave it to them for free for so many years. So why pay now?
Right. But speaking of, we're 3 weeks away from the Roar Fuel Nationals. I'm excited about that, and we'll talk about that before it happens. But I just wanted to make you aware of that.
Mm-hmm. So my idea was, so right now Roar has a event pass, which is $30.
Yeah.
Now, some of that money does go to the track to incentivize them further beyond the rural regionals. So generally, with the regional races are more or less a lot of local racers, and so most of the money from these races go back to the track.
Yep.
The track just has to make sure that they're a Roar member.
Yes.
That's Roar's pretty much only stipulation. Which reminds me, I have to do something because I'll do it later, and not now. But there may be a possible issue I have to go fix. But so I had the idea that if you can become a Roar affiliated track, and you have to be a Roar affiliated track to host a nationals or a regional.
Right.
I think it's like $75 a year or something.
Yeah.
Super cheap, business write off. Easy stuff. And so I had you are a Roar track, you could provide a Roar membership for all the people at your track that raced if you just charged $5 more per first entry.
Yeah. Yeah, that wouldn't be hard to do, but I don't know. I think just in general, everybody needs to get on board. Like I believe, most guys in England they are all on the BRCA. Everybody uses their federation the to the best of their ability, except for the United States of America. Roach RC checking in. He's a co-host on the No Name RC podcast, with which both you and I listen to often. But he says because people in America are very individualistic and want to do things on their own. There are some people in RC who wouldn't go to a Roar race if it was in their own backyard. And as a racer, Broach, I never understood that, but I know people like that. I know people who won't like the MNRC. It's a small regional traveling series, and we get like between 130 and 160 entries, between like 8 classes, and which I was super excited for this time because we had almost 20 sportsmen, which I love that shit.
Wow.
But and they're all new. They weren't sandbagging, nothing like that. But anyway, so there are guys who live a couple miles from the track and they won't even come to the track. They won't even come and say hi because I've heard the bullshit excuse, they're too intimidated. Don't give me that. Don't give me that bullshit. It is not intimidating. And B, that they're so against a weekend race and what they normally do on their Thursday night club race. And it's like, yeah, okay, buddy. I mean, but yeah, one thing that does suck though is, for me selfishly, all the Roar events are held on a coast and none of them in the Midwest. And that could be,
Working on it.
I know that could be because some of the tracks didn't put a bid in, because the track has to bid to get a nationals. You can't force a nationals on a person. Or that could be because
I think there was a lack of representation
Yeah.
in the middle of the country. I mean, if you look at the regional directors or the activity in Roar, it's on the West Coast and the East Coast.
Everybody says I should be the Region 7 director, but I will not be, because I will not step foot on 2 Roar tracks. One, because I'm petty, and another is a very serious situation that I will never bring my family to that track as long as a certain person is allowed to exist and race there.
Okay.
But
anyway, I think somebody is better than nobody.
Yes, that is true. But
and as the regional director, you get to choose where the races go. I will say, so you can choose not to to allow those tracks to
What
participate.
is Region 7? I think Region 7 is Minnesota. It's Minnesota, North Dakota, South Dakota.
Oh, you got it already?
No, but because I remember Region 8 is Iowa, which was always like their Region 8.
Yeah.
How the heck?
Minnesota, North Dakota, South Dakota. So you
Yeah.
have like 12 people between all of you.
Yeah, no, we have a big racing group.
I'm kidding.
If we were to hold a scale Roar regionals and we weren't on top of anything, it would do very well.
Okay, well,
It
come
would.
on, Joe.
Nah, we'll see. But
Joe 3 for Region 7.
Yeah, Joe 3. He would be like, yeah, no, that'd be funny. But no,
Yeah.
I would not.
No, not you, kid, but you. I mean,
Yeah.
come on, Joe. Anyway, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we will, because like I said, one I'm petty, two the other track.
Yeah.
Well, we've discussed that guy before, and you know exactly who he is.
Yeah, but again, that's why I don't think I'm the best regional director for my region, but I'm the person who said I would do it. So
Yeah. Yeah, Tony. I don't know that reference. Well, I know the nut up or shut up or otherwise pull a Steinhaus. What is a Steinhaus?
I think he's talking about punch the dude in the face.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Ricky from the
Stenhouse.
race.
Stenhouse, yeah. Stenhouse, yeah. Yeah, no. I give that punch a 3 out of 10, by the way. I mean, he wound up.
Well, we both know he's pretty exhausted after that race. If you've
Yeah.
done any. Yeah.
And we both know that nobody in NASCAR knows how to really fight, and we've talked shit about people. We've talked shit because it's so funny watching people fight that don't know how to fight, and watch them throw like 2 overhands and get completely gassed. Roach is saying traveling could be another thing for some people. Not a whole lot of flights to the Midwest that are cheap, and second, the Midwest is quite large. That is true, but
We're talking about nationals.
Yeah.
The people at nationals, they're not like.
We have some of the best
on road. Yeah, in on road, the people that are racing are like kind of the diehard racers, and we have some new people.
Mm-hmm.
They had no problem spending money. They're flying out to a coast regardless.
Yes.
So the people from California, they can come. They have no reason not to come other than they don't want to come. The people from East Coast come to the Midwest all the time for like the indoor champs for on road, and they also go to Snowbirds, two of the biggest on road races in the country, if not the world.
Snowbirds is massive. I would call that the world's. I really would. Because of the representation you get at Snowbirds, you get more than you do the worlds, I think.
I guess I'll let you know.
Yeah, I suppose. So he's saying that about the flights, and that is true. And like I was saying,
they're more expensive.
They are more expensive to the Midwest. He's not lying about that at all. But in the Midwest, we have both the hobbyplexes on each side of the Midwest.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can't beat either one of those tracks for clay off-road. Indoor, correct. And then Minnesota's, and then
you can fly into Minnesota pretty cheap.
Yeah.
And O'Hare is in the Midwest, and that is like the cheapest place to fly to.
Right.
Or from.
Yeah.
So
Rick is saying the biggest problem with Roar is roar. Oh, well, the rule book is outdated and it's only followed when convenient. The B6.3 and 0.4 when running 75 millimeter rear arms and any other hex over 5 millimeters, the car was over max width. The battery charge rate is still 1C and nobody follows that. Plus, Live-E batteries can go to 4.7 per cell, but we're still limiting charge to 840 in a lot of cases. So the easiest
840.
Yeah, the easiest way to cheat is the most accessible. Now,
That's the way you have to cheat in on road now is to get like you have to hack into the ESC, unprogram the code, and somehow put boost into it or
that's been
turbo or
happening.
whatever.
That's been happening since 2012, and one of my buddies showed me how to do it way back in the day with the Tekin.
So I'm not saying like voltage, like they're not cheating voltage, not cheating on temperature. The book has been updated. I think I don't know what rule you're talking about when we're talking about a lot of
Well,
rules, but
a lot of these rules are pre-new regime. So Rick Clayton's been going through the rule book, and they've been changing these rules in meetings, but it's such a slow process because that entire book needs to be upgraded.
and I thought he did that. Have you checked the rules recently, Rick? Because Clayton had a new rule book written forever ago.
I have not.
But there's so many things that need to be gone, and then you gotta. It's
Have you ever ran a pack? Like for you, charging 4.7 per cell would be such a lifesaver in mod touring car on pavement for runtime.
yes.
I've done it before. So at Island, the way they used to do expert stock was no voltage limit. Okay, this is before they started getting big races and whatnot. So I would charge it all the way up, which, dude, it was faster, but it was weird. That extra voltage, it hit weird, if that makes sense. It wasn't all punch. It was like a weird turbo effect. It wasn't smooth throughout the entire battery pack. So like the first 80 to 90 seconds, it felt really weird, and then it settled down.
See, I'm worried that my car will take flight if I charge a battery that much.
Possible.
But in mod touring, when you first
Yes.
start, the easiest way to control the car is, well, neuter everything,
Yeah.
and then don't charge your battery all the way.
Yep.
So like when I first started, I was doing 4.0 volts per cell.
Okay.
I can't imagine what 4.7 volts or 435 volts would do.
Well, it gives you a whole lot more. So at least with stock, it gives you a shit ton more speed.
Yeah.
In the beginning of the pack. But it also does give you, I mean, I bet you, so right now, if the motor stayed cool, if I wasn't worried about motor temperatures, out of a 4,800 milliamp shorty pack, I could
4,400.
Yes, but they say 48. Well, I run the full. I run the full size. I don't run the LCG 48s. I run the full size 48s. There is a difference there, but anyways, I bet I could get 15 to 20 minutes charging to 420 per cell with the stock buggy if I didn't have to worry about heat. Now, if I could charge it all the way up, now we're talking 25 minutes to 30 minutes. Now, here's another thing. Are we talking about longer main times instead of 6 minutes? Let's go 12, 15-minute mains, but that's a different topic.
That would be cool though.
That's
for the racers. We need to make it for the spectators.
Yes.
To sell our thing.
Well, that's one thing the AAA mains do well is every race is a do-over in some sense. And I like when they keep the AAA mains at 5 minutes instead of 6. It adds a little more parity. It's more so. Yeah, dude, I don't think I really had any questions. They're doing 8 at Island. Yeah. The only other note I had has nothing to do with what we were talking about. It's 8 cars no longer makes a class at the MNRC. Because people were being like, yeah, let's do a gas truck, let's do moto bikes and all that. And they're like, you know what? 8 no longer makes a class. So the classes at the MNRC are set and they will not be added. Roach is saying this kind of goes with the whole idea of being spoiled for choice on both coasts. On the same weekend that the Hobbyplex is holding a large race, there could be another big race on either coast that's closer and cheaper for most average shows. That is true. And you know what? I think the JCon, what they did with the traveling series, I want to say it's 2 carpet and 3 clay races. I think that does a
It-
great thing for getting average Joes and pros at the track in one shot with everything.
National shouldn't be for average Joes.
You're right,
That's
but
my
that
opinion.
they
That's
should
what
be. But
races are for.
no, we should have the A's and the B's and the C's and the D's and the E's and the F's. No, Roach, we understand what you're saying. We don't see that as we understand what you're saying, and I don't know where you're from, Roach. I think I remember it was the East
Georgia.
Coast. He's Georgia, so he's probably still a little ways from Beach RC. But one day soon, I'm going to fly out to
I think he's
Beach
going
RC.
soon.
Huh?
I think he's going soon.
I'm going to fly out to Beach RC one day in the near future just to race a club weekend. I just want to race on that track so bad. It doesn't have to be a national. That and PDX on the West Coast.
Mm-hmm.
So, oh, you're 6 hours, 6 hours, dude. I do that almost. Well, I used to do that every other weekend.
Come to the Clash, Roach. I'll see you at the
Yeah,
Clash.
yeah. I'm thinking about. Oh, you live in Atlanta. I raced BMX bikes in Atlanta and got my ass kicked so bad I quit BMX racing. um, Doug is wondering, is Aurora membership worth it for a racer like him? He is a local only and
Do
single.
you race with any sorts of rules? When you buy a kit, do you get to make the thing like super weird? Do you get to use like any size wheels and tires? Is it like you could use any size motor? You just throw a lawnmower engine in your RC car? Can you put like any body you want on there? Like, how do we
True.
determine that? Well,
Yeah.
that's a little extreme. Okay, yeah, sure, I agree. But all right, so now can I use an 8 scale, 10 scale motor? Well, no, they all got to be 10 scale. Okay, but what? Maybe I'm going to use one with bigger wire or a bigger rotor, or oh, so now we're getting to the nuance of I like to race with light competition,
Right.
and somebody has designed all these parameters that we take for granted. That's called roar, and more or less I'm being a little vague, but
So,
so yes, if you race, I think you should support the governing body that makes the rules. And well,
no, I
okay,
agree. I
but
agree. You're getting a little extreme with some of your
yes,
examples to make a point. I agree, but also I here's and this is where it gets shitty, but it's like this in motocross and it's like this in BMX. To race in motocross, you have to become an AMA member. And you could be the worst C class racer in the world, and you have to be an AMA member to race in motocross. I forget what it is now, but back in the day, it used to be ABA for BMX. To drag race, you have to race in the NHRA, and you have to get licensed for each bracket. You're like, I think you have to get a special license if you're running under 9 seconds. It's something like that. But yeah, there's the only place where it's really the Wild West is in full scale is oval.
but
Yes,
I mean, so
Roach is right. The way BRCA does it with levels 1 through 5, and you have your nationals for your 3, 4, 5s, and you have your nationals for your 1s and 2s, and they're different events.
I don't know. Yeah, and if you don't like how RC's going right now, you should become a row member tell them about it, vote
Right.
when re-elections come up to do that. You want to be, you know, you're tired of what's going on in your region. You don't know what region you're in. Um, you don't like how things are going at Roar. Well, there's only I only got two hands, so I only can do this much work. But
Yeah,
Joe also has two hands, and you've got two. We can do six hands worth of work versus two,
but I'm also
and
a
we can get a
petty
lot more
son of a
stuff
bitch,
done.
though. I'm also so petty.
You'll grow up someday.
No, I know. Um, yeah, but in it, like I said earlier, I bought my Roar membership because I like the chain. You're turning a gigantic cargo ship. You can't make a hairpin turn and make all these changes overnight.
It's
But
like we're doing it with rafts on the or with oars on the side.
yes, but personally, I mean, I see the changes that are being made. It's $40, and like I said earlier, I bought shitty Chinese food for my family yesterday, and it was $53. And somebody's going to complain about a $40 yearly membership. It's like, dude, am I going
Do
to raise
something
the A
worthwhile.
scale? Chad's wondering, am I going to race A scale this year? Well, I'm going to race probably next week at FTR and at the FTR MNRC round. I am announcing at Loose Nuts. So, and I will never be in Duluth. And we know why that is. Well, Zach knows why that is. But yeah, anyway, no, I mean we can go around in circles.
Yeah, I
Roar's
think
a good,
we did this.
yeah, Roar's a good thing. Well, it's becoming a good thing. It wasn't a good thing before. Before, the only reason to be part of Roar was if you're going to the 1A scale off-road fuel nationals. Now you're actually supporting change.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, you
So
know what? Dude, Doug brings up a good idea and I totally forgot about this. This is a total topic change. 100%. So, oh, Roach refuses to run Techno over a bad interaction. Shoot. When am I coming to Bad Fast? I don't know, Jacob. I hope soon. Um, hopefully in the fall. But so Doug is talking about the mentoring program that the MNRC is holding. So what we do is we have a few local fast guys that signed up to be mentors to new guys and struggling guys. A guy just has to go up to somebody and says, "Hey, can you assign me a mentor?" And their mentor shadows them for a full weekend, and the improvements are astounding. It's awesome. So yeah, it is cool.
the hardest part is getting that person to admit they need help.
Exactly. And I think there were a couple situations to where mentors went up to guys and they're like, "Hey, can I help you out here?" But there is a mentorship program with the MNRC, and you guys, you can do it privately. You don't have to be like, "Hey, I need help." You can send Ben Sovacool a message or the MNRC Facebook a message on Facebook and be like, "Hey, I want to be part of the mentorship program." You don't have to, you know, do like a Facebook ad for your mentor, none of that BS. It can be as private as you need it to be, and you'll get the help because you just need to get some people just need to get pointed in the right direction. And this
Mhm.
is a good way to do it. And it's free. So, so what I was going to say about when you were talking about rules, and earlier we talked about, oh, Roach says that's why he made a few videos about stuff. That's why people would be too embarrassed to ask. Yeah, check out Roach RC's YouTube page. I always forget to say that. He's got a good YouTube page. What I with good production quality. Like right now, my lighting's off. I'm glitchy. I got to work on my production quality, but his is good. My sound's good though. That's all that matters. So what I was gonna say about the rule thing. So the original co-host for this podcast. Well, he's a software engineer. And he learned that this was way back in the day when the Hobbywing 3.1 was the ESC to have. Well, he learned that that's not a Hobbywing product, and you could get blank ones for $30. And he learned how to make software, and that's as far as I'm going with that one. So, yeah. Anyway, I don't want to go much farther because that would.
That's okay. So,
and now with Royal rules and ways to check that stops all that nonsense.
Right. If you want to do the new topic, we can do that now, or I need to get going here soon.
I think I'm out of topics. What about you? What
did you want to do the DRC, like the deep dive into DRC?
Yes. I forgot about that as well.
That's
so
okay. Go ahead.
What's new on the DRC side? We haven't talked about that, and you have a few irons in the fire right now. There's always little things, but somebody on my TikTok specifically asked me about your charger painting.
That's funny because that's going to be announced tomorrow. So yeah, well, let's do that then. So a gentleman asked me. Let me back up. So I sell upgraded eye chargers. And so what that is I solder on the PCB with your choice of length of wire, 10 gauge wire, and I'll sheath it for you, any of the sheathing colors we offer, and removes the EC8, EC5 connector on the dual chargers. I offer the service for the other eye chargers as well, but I don't solder on the PCB board. I just make it like a good fit for what you're using it for.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been doing this for a while. People seem to really like it.
Yep.
And so a gentleman had purchased a charger from me with the upgrade and asked me if I would have painted it for him, which is the one I posted pictures of on the DRC website.
Yes.
Which is located, I think it's a featured product on the homepage, but also it's located under the services in the electronics and services. It's called Custom Charger Painting. So I did this, and it took a little bit longer than I thought it was going to take, and it turned out really good though.
Yeah.
Then I went looking at so I took some time to research painting and different types of paint, and I've been painting my RC bodies for a while, and I chose to go with a different type of painting method than an airbrush, just because I don't have the patience to airbrush.
Right. And the time.
Yeah. So that took a long time to figure out which paint to use, which one's going to last, how it's going to look, that type of stuff. So did some R&D into that and came up with a solution. Did some test painting on some charger parts on the inside to make sure that it wasn't going to eat the plastic, that the paints weren't going to interact negatively and it would adhere, because that's the whole thing. And it turned out great. And so I thought, well, maybe I could offer that as a service as well. Now the downside to that is it takes me a long time to do it. So it is a built to order item, which just means it has a later shipping date. The iCharger upgrade, you can buy a non-customized one with the charger for it's a ready to ship item, so it would ship the following business day.
Okay.
You can get custom ones as well, or you can buy the kit if you want to try to do it yourself, but you need a really good iron. Your regular one, it's not going to cut it.
Oh, I forgot to say something. You want to know something funny? I was soldering today on TikTok, and my iron, the power supply for my iron, went up in smoke. So I'm shopping for an iron. But anyway, sorry, continue. I just
I have a
thought that,
suggestion for you.
huh?
I'll send you a link afterwards.
Sounds good.
Um, so yeah, so that's the new product we're launching tomorrow. Um, I sent it to the social media companies last night. We'll see, or the news companies. It'll be in the DRC email this week, and we'll post it on social media tomorrow as well.
I'm sorry to blow. I thought it is already released. I'm sorry to blow up your spot, but I'm excited about it because I need to order a new charger before
Oh,
fall with all the trim because I haven't had to order cables in 3-4 years for my 406 because
mhm.
the last set of cables I ordered, Roach just looked up DRC, looks quite nice. Yeah, dude. But I haven't had to order cables in years because they're fine. They last. They don't wear out.
So you're telling me you're in breach of contract right now?
Right now, yes. Because now well, dude, look at my shirt. Look at my shirt. I have the original shirt. So yes, I am in breach of contract. And I apologize. But you know what? I'm also the type of guy that likes longevity out of his products, and which I get from your
Giving you a hard
stuff.
time.
I know, but I am going to have to order the 456 because my 406, like I said on previous episodes, the wheel stops working. I have to tap the living hell out of it to make it spin. I know it's probably a simple fix, but you know
Right.
what? I've had that charger, that 406, I've had it for 10 years, Zach. I
So a
mean,
$300 charger, huh?
yeah. So what, $30 a year, less than a membership for my charger. So,
No,
yeah,
that's okay. I'll save what I was going to talk about for another time. But so there's all these like intricacies that go into running an RC business that people just think like just take for granted, especially like a small one like mine. Like I'm the only employee um
yeah.
at my business. I have like some family comes and helps me, and I'm really thankful for that because they make my life way easier. I recently hired a social media, email,
That's going to help out
do
a
it all service thing. Well, they've
yeah.
been taking that's DBS. That they've been taking over the last and I'm working with them and that because they don't know anything about RC. Nice people.
Yeah.
But I've been working with them and then they helped them with the chat bot and a few other cool things for the website. But there's so much stuff that people just take for granted that like your 9 to 5, like you would never know. So Joe thought
Yeah.
this segment would be cool, like the what's going on at DRC. So sometimes it'll just be like a new product. Sometimes, like right now, I've got um, 6 new products that should be mailing out this week.
Right.
Or parts for those products. I have R&D projects going on. I've got reordering stuff. Um, I'm helping WMH build their brand. He's pretty much up and running now, but it
Yes.
was a lot of work to
Mhm.
kind of to do that. But it was really cool seeing it grow. Like sometimes I think I have like imposter syndrome. Like I'm confident in what I know for my business. No idea what it's going to work for anybody else.
Well,
So it was kind of cool to be able to help.
I've been with you. I think you were working at a grocery store when I started running your products.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
that was the first. So you were one
That
of the
had to
first
be
members.
2017, 18.
2017.
Yeah. Anthony Mangold just says proving the quality of the product. Yeah. Dude, I mean, it's good stuff. And I'm one of those guys, I don't update or upgrade unless something breaks or it's absolutely necessary. And when everything's working great, it's when everything's plug and play, I don't mess with it. But now my old iCharger is giving up, and the 456 uses different leads, which I actually kind of prefer in a way. And so I'll have to get leads for that. But yeah, no, I'm excited to get a new charger and some new leads. I might go different colors. I have that blue and black. I used to do that sky blue color you used to have, and then you're like, yeah, we're getting rid of that color. It's like, damn it.
We still have it for now.
I know. Well, my wife,
Until it's gone.
my wife and I always joke that if I like it, it's going to get discontinued. Everything in my life, like down to deodorant I use, gets discontinued. So, anyways, yeah, no, this is
One
going to be
thing
good. Go
I
ahead.
did forget about the charge is that there are different sections you can paint different colors. So it
Yes.
doesn't all have to be one color. So the buttons and screen, the buttons, the front and back, and then the top and bottom of the case can all be different colors.
Yeah. Now, so you're not airbrushing. Did you get a situation to where, I mean, you're either spray painting it, but have you thought about dipping it? Like getting a dip scenario?
I don't want to hydro dip. It's
Not
this
hydro-
is no. I don't paint. No. No is the short version of that.
Okay. Yeah, because I hydro dip Joe 3's bodies, and it's a miracle every time they come out because I look at it, and until I back it, it just looks like vomit all over the car body. And then I back it with white. I'm like, oh my God, it's amazing. And oh, there's that green I put in there, that type of thing. Yeah, hydro dip is an inconsistent nightmare. Oh, Lance says he's been airbrushing his bodies for INS the past few hours. Yeah, Lance has some good looking vehicles. Oh, but yeah, man, I got to go back to work tomorrow. Oof.
I know this is a long one.
I know. Well, it would have been shorter if my dumb person, if I would have figured out that audio issue right away, we would have been done.
No, we've been recording for almost 2 hours, and then it was 15
Oh, wow.
minutes of us dinking around before that.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to figure this out because, like I said, it's so much more difficult to share my screen when I have just this little laptop screen. Now, when I get this figured out, it'll be much better. And I'm going to get my lighting figured out. It's one step at a time with me, and it's like, I got to get nitro
upgrade lights.
Yeah. Dude, next week I'm running 3 different classes in 2 days. Saturday, I'm running A scale and fifth scale. And Sunday, we're doing spec slashes in a parking lot. So
one of those doesn't require any work.
I had to work on the spec slashes today to wire up bullets.
To make them legal.
Yeah, well, I had to wire up bullets for the shorty, and I changed the shock oil.
You voided the warranty?
Oh, yeah. Oh, dude, I tore all those tags off. And it was funny. So I was doing it on my TikTok live, and I picked up a fifth scale servo, and I said, this servo costs as much as this entire truck. So, but yeah, so now that the work is done on the slash, I don't have to touch them again for the next 10 years. So, anyway, all right, yeah, man. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. Check us out. We also post the audio on your podcast services. So I'm Joser Jr., and with me has been Zach Donathan, and we have ran out of talent. Have a good night, guys.